Hey guys, this is Inventor Boy 16. I'm sorry I have not gotten videos up lately. I have been doing a really bad job of doing that. I promise you guys I will start doing that more often. So, yeah, just telling you guys that. And warning you guys this right now, this is another Ezip video. I know I'm doing a lot of Ezip videos about my Ezip E500. It's like my favorite scooter, so it's my favorite thing to do videos on as well as my inventions. So yeah, but in this video I will be showing you and I'll be showing you and telling you care tips for the batteries on here. I'll be telling you guys how you can get a little bit better battery efficiency out of this scooter and get the best run time, best battery life, best lifespan of just a scooter over time and stuff like that. So before we completely begin, I'm going to warn you guys that my charger for the scooter here is making this really loud noise. If you can hear it, then I'm sorry. Then if you can't, then just ignore the message. So yeah, let's just get started. So we all know electric scooters are really cool, and we all know that they're really awesome, and they're a little bit more eco-friendly than regular vehicles and gas vehicles, because the energy for them does not come straight from burning fuel and stuff like that. It can come from solar and all that stuff. But being electric, you have to have a power source, and your power source is the batteries. So you want to keep these at a good amount of power. You want to keep them happy. You want to keep them fresh. So a couple of the tips I have for you guys is, first thing, you want to make sure that the battery box here is not damaged. You don't want it damaged underneath there. You don't want the deck damaged. You don't want this piece damaged. Took that off for the video. You don't want that damaged either. And you just want to keep the area where the battery and the controller, aka slash engine computer, is stored. You want to keep all this area here nice and protected. Imagine that this is your favorite bouncy ball or something, or favorite thing. You want to keep it safe. So you want to treat it with respect. You don't want to damage it. You want to keep it nice. So yeah, the only thing that you really want on here is your feet. So yeah. Another thing is your tire pressure. Whoops, sorry for the thud there. I accidentally hit my camera on accident. Is your tire pressure. You'll want to keep your tire pressure nice and even between the two tires. If you can't, then make the tire a little bit less. But the thing is, if your tires are too low, like mine are right now, they're a little bit too low, is this can actually cause your battery efficiency to go down. And the reason that is because your engine here is pumping out more. It has to use more power to spin the wheel because it's flat and has more friction. So what you want to do is you want to keep the tires around 30 psi. So the engine doesn't have to work as hard, therefore saving you some battery life. And so you want to keep that in mind. And the motor. You want to keep the motor nice and healthy. You don't want the motor too hot, you don't want it too cold, because if it's too hot, it'll need more power because the coils in there get all warm and they start to spread out, and then it requires more power for it to spin. If it's too cold, then that can also decrease your battery efficiency because of because of it being too cold. Like anything that's too cold will start to fail on you. So you want to keep them at a nice temperature. You want to keep them just the right temperature. So yeah. Another thing you want to do to keep your battery efficiency up is you want to know what these lights mean. They're not just telling you just how much battery life you have. They can tell you how much battery life you're using at the time. So If you're riding at full and you're going full speed and it's at full, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about your battery life. You know you have a good battery life when you're at full and you're running just fine and stuff. It is okay if it flickers down to half when you're at a full battery. If you're at full battery and it just goes down to half for a little second and then comes back up to full, that means you're still at a full battery. You're perfectly fine. But when you're riding and you notice that you're riding at half most of the time, then that means your battery is starting to get a little bit drained of its power. That means you're using quite a bit of power, and you'll notice that it'll do that after a while of riding. It'll start to go on half, and while you're riding, it'll stay on half. But when you stop, it'll go back up to full. That means you have full amount of voltage, but you don't have full amount of milliamperage. So what you want to do is you want to keep and when it gets to low, of course, you know that your battery's starting to get really drained. But when you get to low, what you want to do is you want to stop, and if it slowly goes back up to the full, then you know you're almost dead. If it only goes back up to half and it stays on half, that means your battery's just about to die on you. Like they're just like, boop, like that much could just kill them. So you want to charge it when it gets down to low. So that's just one thing you can do. And another thing is you want to keep the batteries themselves maintenance. You want to have the batteries themselves to have good maintenance and care. So what you want to do is every now and then, like every 6 weeks of riding or every month or so, you want to check underneath. You want to lift up the battery. It's a little bit heavy. You want to lift up the battery and you want to check underneath here. In the battery box here. You don't want grass. You don't want water. And you don't want dirt. You just want it nice and clean. A little bit will not harm you that much, but a lot can start causing you problems because if you have a lot of grass in there, it'll start to insulate the batteries. The batteries can get warm. If you have a lot of water in there, you can start having water damage caused to your battery, and the water will start corroding your batteries and ruining them. And if there were ever to be like a little spark, or if something were to get really warm here, it could start a fire underneath the deck. So you want to keep this area here nice and clean. So you want to keep it nice and clean underneath the deck. So, and what you want to do is every now and then you want to open up the bag. Here, you want to open the battery compartment bag if your scooter has one, or if you're looking at this video for the Ezip E500, you want to open up the bag and you want to check your batteries. If you see, of course you want to take them out to take a proper look at them. But if you want to, every now and then you want to see if they have any bloating, or if they're like warped or scratched, or they have water damage to them, or if they're just really ugly looking. That'll let you know that you're about at the end of your battery's lifespan. And you want to keep a good, nice, maintained battery, because that'll, in the long run, help your scooter. And another thing is you want to keep this charged. When it's sitting there at a full battery, you got about 24 to 26 volts. If you're sitting at a standstill and you don't have anything running on a full charge, you have about 26 volts going through it. But when it gets down to 20, when it gets low, like when the lights go on there low, when they go low, that means your batteries are starting to go dead on you. That means they're at probably around 24 volts to 22 volts, which means they're considered dead. So when that happens, you want to immediately charge it, because you do never want to leave these batteries discharged for more than an hour or so after a rundown, because it can start to damage the batteries. So yeah, so this has been my video of the Ezip E500 battery care and tips video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.